What is going on, guys? It's the Frontz, and we are back again for our Monday Night Raw review and results show. This Monday Night Raw was, But before we get into Monday Night Raw, we do have some news that's happened over the last weekend. First, we had Jeff Hardy confirming with WWE.com after Starrcade on Saturday that he is on the road to recovery and he should be back hopefully by WrestleMania time. But there could be something happening soon for Matt Hardy that we will talk about later in the show that I was looking forward to when they first came back to Monday Night Raw. Also, Drew McIntyre is in fact going to be out till probably around WrestleMania time. His bicep is as bad as they made it. How it was everyone's worst fear happened with Drew McIntyre. He's got a torn bicep. He has to have surgery, and he will be out for the next 6 to 8 months. Also, there was Jerry Lawler on his last podcasts talked about sitting backstage with The Undertaker and about how he looks in too good shape and how The Undertaker will probably be back in wrestling at WrestleMania next year, which hopefully does not happen. But let's get into the Raw show. Raw started off with a video package, which I thought they weren't going to use this video package. I thought they were going to highlight Roman Reigns winning the Intercontinental title because he is Vince McMahon's golden boy. They started off with a promo for Kane and Braun Strowman, and I'm thinking, is this 1997 or is this 2017? Kane being highlighted and talked about all night as if he's the young guy, hoping, like the young veteran, hoping the young guy get over, even though Braun Strowman's been over since earlier this year. I don't care about, yes, he did have that loss to Brock Lesnar, but what does this do for Braun Strowman? Kane, what has Big Show done? What can Kane do that Big Show hasn't done? Same thing we've said for Triple H and Braun Strowman eventually clash at either Rumble or Mania. What does this do for Braun Strowman? Who knows? After that, we had a promo of Roman Reigns by himself. Me thinking, okay, it looks like the Shield's going to be down for good, but later in the night we did have Seth Rollins confirm that the Shield isn't down. We will get to that when we get there. But Roman Reigns did come out celebrating and still disrespecting the IC title. Here is Roman Reigns.
Y'all know The Miz, he says a lot of stupid stuff, but one thing he said that's true is this title is prestigious. And as long as I have it, it's gonna stay that way. Because I'm not like The Miz, I'm a fighting champion.
So you're stealing from John Cena again.
This is my yard, and this is the title. So the rules are simple, boys. If you want this, all you have to do is step up and take it.
Can they not copy John Cena anymore? He has the 5 moves of doom, which I think most superstars have anyway, so I can't give him too much credit on that. He has Let's Go Roman Sucks chance going. He's calling out for a U.S. Open challenge, and he's supposed to be the golden boy who doesn't lose often, if at all. Can he not copy Can they not make a carbon copy of John Cena anymore than they already have? I mean, seriously, what else can they do for John Cena for Roman Reigns besides having win 15 more world titles, well, 13 more world titles. I think he has 3. Yeah, he has 3. So yeah, win 15 more titles to pass John Cena, who will have 17 probably in the next year. What are they going to have? Roman Reigns become Mr. 18? Give me a break.
How dare you disrespect the most must-see Intercontinental Champion of all time?
Give me a break, bro.
The only thing worse than this pain in my neck is the pain in my heart seeing you walk around with the Miz's title. And thanks to you and your friends, we're in no position to avenge injustice. But we know somebody that can.
Hello, I am Elias. Now please hold your applause. I will be performing later tonight.
Had a great performance tonight, by the way.
You see, The Miz is a good guy. So when I saw these two poor souls lost and abandoned after their leader fell in defeat, I knew I could guide them. I knew I could show them the way. And I knew I could ignite that fire that once burned in your hearts.
So it's like the Miz Taraj with Elias for now until Miz comes back from the Marine 6. Is that what's going on now? Someone let me know that, because that's what Elias is making it sound like. That he has a bunch of groupies.
And tonight, I'm going to take that Intercontinental Championship.
Nope. Anybody who, even before I even talk about that match, thought that Roman Reigns was going to lose the title next, you are sadly mistaken.
It sounds like Elias wants to walk with the big dog. You got it. But before we do it, I want you to look over there at Curtis Axel. I hope you can sing with one of those neck braces on, because after tonight, you might have to wear one.
Well, Elias steps up.
So they made the match, Roman Reigns versus Elias, later in the night. So all those guys on Twitter asking for a challenge, saying they were going to challenge. I guess Rich Swann did. I know Jason Jordan did. And Finn Balor and other ones didn't even come out. No one said anything. It was just Elias comes out and he's with the Miztourage now, I guess. Let me see if I get this right. Then we had Samoa Joe and Titus O'Neil after a match with, of course... Oh, wait, hold on. I got this wrong. Seth Rollins. It was Seth Rollins next, yeah. Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. In this match, it was a pretty good match back and forth. Cesaro and him work well together. I would love to see Seth Rollins and Cesaro battle over the Intercontinental title or even the WWE Universal title in the near future in a legit feud. These two look like they have a lot of fun working together. During this match, over and over and over again, they decided to tell us over and over again, oh, Sheamus isn't here because he's off in his yearly sabbatical, which I knew nothing about. I've never heard them say that at all in the years past, and he's been here since like 2010, I believe, or 2008 or something. And Dean Ambrose is off on his honeymoon, which to him, and that means no Miss Ambrose, what is her name again? Man, I can't think of it on top of my head. Yeah, those two aren't at all in the building, so we had an actual true one-on-one match between Seth Rollins and Cesaro, in which, oh yeah, Renee Young, I'm sorry. Yeah, Renee Young was not there. So post-interview match, post-interview, which they do not have on here, I don't think, and they don't, which I think they should have on here, but they don't, is Seth Rollins, of course, wins the match after a pretty good match. He hits a super kick for the win. After the match, Charlie Caruso is out taking over for Renee Young, who's not here because of the honeymoon. Nobody wanted to mention that on Monday Night Raw, but whatever. Talks about how one Roman Reigns being Intercontinental Champion divide those two, divide the Shield, and he's like, no, it's going to make them stronger, and that next week, him and Dean Ambrose are going to invoke their rematch clause, so expect next week to see the Shield have all the titles but one. Seth Rollins, coincidentally enough, did put a tweet out saying time to call in the lunatic, and he's going to how the entire Shield is going to hold all the titles. Not just saying like the Intercontinental title and the tag titles. So he's pretty much confirming without saying it, without really meaning it, that Roman Reigns will have the Intercontinental title going into WrestleMania, and he will beat Brock Lesnar for the Universal title and be a dual champion while those two hold the titles, if the Shield is still around by then. Next up, in between this, we had Kurt Angle talking to the Cruiserweights about two Fatal 4-Way matches for the next 2 weeks, so giving the cruiserweights at least something to do on Monday Night Raw, even though most people don't care about the cruiserweights. I want the cruiserweights to come out of this hole that they're in, but from what I've seen, until Enzo Amore is gone, nothing's going to happen with that. But they did have Kurt Angle with some cruiserweights.
All right, one at a time. Tell me what's going on here.
Man, the Zoe train. The Zoe train has come completely off the tracks.
What's a Zoe train?
Enzo and his lackeys. That clown has the Cruiserweight Championship, and with those circus freaks watching his back, he thinks he can keep us from getting anywhere near it.
Kurt, all we want is an opportunity. That's
all right. Well, with everything going on with Triple H and Stephanie, I may have let the Cruiserweight division run a little bit out of control. But I have a solution to the problem. Enzo may hold the title, but he doesn't call the shots around here. I do. And I think it's time we determine the next challenger for Enzo's Cruiserweight Championship. All right. So here's what we're going to do. In 3 weeks' time, we'll know who's facing Enzo. Tonight, we're going to have a fatal four-way match. Next week, we'll have another fatal four-way match. And the winners of those two matches will face off to see who faces Enzo for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Sound good?
Yeah. That's all we wanted.
Yeah.
Opportunity.
So yes, we have two cruiserweight title fatal four ways to see who will go in 2 weeks' time to face off. Next up, we had Samoa Joe and Titus O'Neil, and Titus O'Neil came into this looking like he was actually giving it to Joe. Titus O'Neil, where has this Titus O'Neil been all along? He's been the guy with the suit supporting Hikaru Tozawa for a bit. I guess that's been long gone and over with, not happening anymore. He's still with Apollo Crews, supporting him the most time. This guy who comes in, he slaps Samoa Joe multiple times, takes it to Joe. Of course, he ends up losing the match by Coquina Clutch, but makes himself known that this Titus O'Neil should be used more often. Not the guy sitting back in catering or being part of Titus Worldwide. He should be doing more of this, in my opinion. This Titus O'Neil, I would like to see a lot more of this as a heel. Turn on Apollo Crews, beat down Apollo Crews, and become a mainstay. They tried this when him and Darren Young broke up a couple years ago to have him become the next big heel. But for whatever reason, it fizzled out. Maybe Vince McMahon was like, I'm done with this. It was a one-time thing, but I'm done with this. Then we had what was supposed to be a 6-woman tag teams match. Before I say anything about that, Apollo Crews got in the ring and tried to help and tried to fend off Samoa Joe, but ended up getting put in the Coquina Clutch as well, and that was that. Then we had what was supposed to be a 6-woman tag match between Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Mickie James versus Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. That match never happened. Sasha Banks came out for the match. Sasha Banks came out for the match. Mickie James' music hit, no one came out. Bayley's music hit, no one came out. Paige's music hit, she came out. Oh, come on, do they not have it? No, they don't. Paige came out with the other two. They came out asking, where's your friends? They show up to the ring. We see Mickie James clutching her ankle, which that's an obvious thing that, oh my gosh, that hurt. And then they showed Bayley clutching her neck to signify that this match wasn't going to happen. Then we had Paige and them coming down talking about how Paige was if it wasn't for Paige and she was the reason that the word diva was taken out of the WWE vocabulary, I don't believe that. It was everybody, but let Paige feel in her delusion. Then they let Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville talk, and neither one of those should have a mic in their hand ever again. It just seemed a little too cringeworthy. They talked about, and they called the tag team, by the way, Absolution. Oh, here it is. They do have it. Never mind. Let me get it up first. But yes, they called the tag team Absolution. I gotta just say something. That is gotta be a weak name for these three, so obviously they're sticking together.
First of all, you look great. Considering what we did to you last week, you actually look surprisingly good. But I have a question. Where's your friends? Oh, you know what? Yeah, actually, I remember. I know exactly where you are. Just.
Don't touch it. Stay right here. Don't move. Right? Stay there. Stay there.
Yikes.
The hood angle spot and the all clutching my neck spot is just well overdone. They need to do, like, just have them passed out. Don't have them, like, sitting there acting like they're really injured. I mean, come on. We all know.
I guess that makes this into a handicap match, right, ladies? Okay, all right. Wait, though. Wait. I just need to get something off my mind really quick. A year ago, I was the woman.
Nope.
I was the woman to stick the flag into the ground and single-handedly erase the word diva from the WWE dictionary.
Nope.
Last week, I was just making a statement to prove to every single one of you who I am. And guess what? I'm back.
You said that last week, so what happened in a week to make so you go away and then come back again?
Let me just introduce to you my little group I like to call Absolution.
That's a weak name, just saying.
To my left, you have Sonya Deville. And over to my right, we have Mandy Rose. You can take it.
Others may have forgot, but before there was a boss, and before there was the 4 horsewomen, and before there was a goddess or an empress, there was Paige.
They don't mention Emma because she was fired.
But we, honey, we didn't forget.
Every woman has pushed the envelope.
Never let Sonya Deville talk again. She is just cringe.
And every woman has raised the game. But the fact is, Sasha, is that no one, nothing would have been elevated, nothing would have been raised if it wasn't for Paige. And that's why we've pledged our allegiance to Paige. And together, Absolution is going to turn into a whole different kind of women's evolution.
So the question really is, Sasha, are you gonna pledge your allegiance to us? You're either with us or you're against us.
And of course, Sasha attacks Paige and they beat her down with all 3 of the finishers, and that's the end of that segment. First off, Absolution is a horrible name. I don't know why you want to go with that, but that's the thing. Can't wait to see what the 3-woman team on SmackDown calls themselves, because you got Absolution on Raw. What you gonna have on SmackDown? Also, this is just going to be, man, Raw's gonna suffer for a very long time, for like the next month, because they have nothing going on. They have no pay-per-view. They have nothing to build to until the Rumble, and you really don't start building to the Rumble until halfway through December, if not till January. So I don't see this going anywhere good. So apparently we're going to have this 3-woman team on Raw for the foreseeable future. Maybe this leads to Paige winning the Women's Championship from Alexa Bliss, who was on commentary for what was supposed to be this triple threat, this 6-woman tag match. As soon as Bayley and Mickie James were found beaten down in the back, which could you just have them passed out, holding their leg, holding their neck, is just, it doesn't feel real. Unless you see them getting beat down, actually, it's just like, oh, let me just sit down and hold my neck. Oh, let me sit down and hold my ankle. That's what it's always, even before, like, when I was watching wrestling back in my early days, I just felt like it doesn't even feel real if they're not actually getting beat down. So, Absolution on Raw. What is SmackDown? We'll find out tomorrow what they're going to call themselves, because I'm sure they'll have a name, too. But Paige they beat him down, and that's all we saw from them tonight. Then we saw Bray Wyatt, and this is this leads to a very big talking point of the night. But Bray Wyatt is here, and he, just with this smile on his face, says he's here. I don't know if they don't have the opening segment, like the segment for Bray Wyatt, which Bray Wyatt talked about how he didn't have a childhood, which, if you think about it, Bray and Bro didn't have a perfect childhood when they were kids because of who their father is, Mike Rotundo. So I can agree with him a little bit. He didn't celebrate holidays. He didn't care. We all do. We care. We're all pathetic. He says his eyes are wide open, which how many times has Bray Wyatt said his eyes are wide open? I think 1.5 million times. He says we're dead. We're dead inside. We're dead. We're dead. We're dead. This, of course, leads to Matt Hardy's music playing. And if you listen to a certain other person who does a podcast, 30 from New York, he's talked about how Bray Wyatt should be the catalyst to Matt Hardy becoming broken. How Bray Wyatt would be the perfect person to bring Matt Hardy to be broken. But, match starts during the break because, most of the matches have to start during the break. We come back to see Bray controlling Matt. Matt takes control with the clothesline in the corner, followed by a bulldog. Wyatt catches him, but gets caught with the side effect. Wyatt blocks Twist of Fate. Matt kicks Wyatt out of the corner and throws him down. Matt misses a moonsault, which Matt Hardy has one of the best moonsaults I think there's ever been. Bray does his little spider thing, which it used to be, whoa, what is that? To get this over with. Hits the Sister Abigail, and Bray Wyatt wins in a short match. We cut back to the ring. And I don't think they have this on here at all, probably not. But we cut back to the ring with Matt Hardy seething, holding his arm, and all of a sudden he's like screaming, and then just starts saying delete, over and over, and then he just starts doing the hand motion over and over and over. Then Michael Cole is like, oh, okay, they do. Good. It's at the end of this clip. Hold on. Matt Hardy, this is right after the match. We cut to, if I can get it to where I need it to. We cut to Matt Hardy in the ring, and Matt Hardy is not happy. And something's changed in Matt. I think he stopped saying delete because the crowd kept saying it, but he just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. It's like, will we see broken Matt Hardy next week?
Are we witnessing the beginning of a Matt Hardy breakdown?
Michael Cole says, if you didn't hear it over the music, are we starting to see a Matt Hardy breakdown? Will we see broken Matt Hardy next week? I'm going to say not yet. Not yet. This is the start of Bray Wyatt bringing out broken Matt Hardy. This is the start. They're not just going to go have him say delete, and then just boom, Matt Hardy's broken. But that is something I'm looking forward to. Hopefully Matt Hardy gets to show off more broken Matt Hardy than what Vince McMahon, hopefully he gets free reign. That is the biggest fear I have, is that Vince McMahon is going to try and make it like he did with Starrcade as a house show, or how he made War Games different. Vince McMahon likes to take something that he didn't have any creation in and putting his spin on it. Just let Matt Hardy have the free reign to do not everything, because you're not going to see King Maxwell. You're probably not going to see Rebby, Scribe, or all of them. But see a version of broken Matt Hardy that would fit into WWE, because quite honestly, broken Matt Hardy does not fit into the PG era as broken Matt Hardy. Just putting it out there. Does not fit into the bylaw, into what WWE wants as a company. Man, they're really losing it on the clips tonight. But then we cut to the back, and Jason Jordan is talking about how it's too bad because after we come back from break, we see Cole deciding to remind us what happened between Kane and Strowman over the last few weeks. Who the hell cares? I don't. I know you don't. But they do it anyway. Then we cut to the back, and Jason Jordan's talking to Kurt Angle about how it's too bad Strowman's not here tonight because I wanted to ask for my rematch against him. Kurt Angle's like, really? After what happened last week, and then about your knee and everything, and Jason Jordan's like, not you too. I've been hounded by social media about my knee. So yeah, what'd you expect, Jason? You said you were okay. You wanted to take on Braun. You were okay. You had a healthy knee. You went out there. You had your knee buckle. His knee is going to lead to his heel turn somehow. He's going to sit there and blame his father for everything that's happening somehow because he's the one going out there. He's the one wrestling. He's the one with his knee injury. Then he's like, well, if I can't have Braun Strowman, I'm going to have Kane. I want to just prove that I belong. And I want Kane. Kurt Angle says, yeah, that's going to help people prove that you belong. So tonight it's going to be Kane versus Jason Jordan. Then we had a fatal 4-way. We cut right to the ring. No entrances for the cruiserweights. No nothing like that. I think Rich Swann's music was playing when we got to the match. But we go to a fatal 4-way for us to decide who's going to face off in 2 weeks' time to see who's going to wrestle for the Cruiserweight Championship. Now, this was a good match. This was a pretty great match compared to what we've seen for the Cruiserweights in a long time. I would have to say probably back to the Triple Threat or Fatal 4-Way they had last year before the take on TJP at the next pay-per-view. This was a pretty good match. The heels, Dara and Daivari, helped each other through the entirety of the match. They had most of the control of the start of the match. Oh, and then like 5 minutes into the match, you had Tozawa and Daivari and Swan take the heels out of the match, and instead of going out against the heels, they look at each other, shake their heads. Tozawa and him go at each other for a bit. They put on a pretty decent showing for a bit. Then Daivari and Dara gets back into the match. This match was a pretty good match back and forth. The match ends with Swan going for a Phoenix Splash, but Dara stops in on the top rope. Zara with a boot to Dara, then a splash by Zara. Daivari with the splash for a Shining Wizard. Daivari went for a frog splash, got a 2 count. Out of nowhere comes Akira Tozawa for a Shining Wizard, which was a pretty nice spot. He goes for his senton, whatever the heck they call that. His senton off the top rope, that jumping, leaping senton bomb, or whatever they call it. Pins Daivari for a 2 count. Noam Dar tries to actually steal. Actually, he didn't pin him because Noam Dar comes in, tries to steal the victory on Daivari. So he actually goes into business for himself, gets a 2 count because Rich Swann comes in and breaks it up. Daivari goes and hits and knocks out Akira Tozawa. He goes to try and get the pin, but Rich Swann pulls Akira Tozawa out, gets back up, kicks Daivari in the head, heads up top, hits the Phoenix Splash for the 1, 2, 3. So one of the first two for the two to go on to see who's going to face Enzo is Rich Swann. Next week we will have Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak, and I can't remember who the other Zo Train member is because it's 2 Zo Train members and 2 baby faces in these matches. So it's going to be Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, which should be great just between those two. If you could just get the other 2 out of there, the 2 Zo Train members, and have Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann have as much time as these guys had, they should put on a great match. But we will have Drew Gulak and I don't think it's going to be... You know what's interesting out of this whole Cruiserweight thing? We haven't seen Jack Gallagher or Brian Kendrick in a while and any of this stuff. So I don't know. It might just be Gallagher and Kendrick. I'm not sure. Then we had Elias versus Roman Reigns for the IC title. Elias is out to sing a song. He dedicated the songs to The Miz, got through that. Then he had to start over, of course, because, the fans boo him. Elias is over like Rover. He is a great act. Him and Roman Reigns put on a pretty darn good match tonight. He actually got through 2 songs tonight. He did one where he sang, and then he had the Miz Taraj, who was standing in each corner, come into the light, and they both played harmonica while he strummed his guitar. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel did put on a nice little performance for that. That was a pretty cool little spot. I thought it was really nice that they had that happen. Nice to see them actually give Elias a chance to actually shine a little bit more. The match was great. It was a good match. I'm hoping Roman Reigns will put these matches on more often. And Elias in this match, in my opinion, it was like 75 Elias, 25 Roman through this entire match. So Elias put on a great showing. Hopefully we'll see more of these matches from Roman Reigns as the weeks go on. And the finish came with a spear. Of course, this is the thing that's going to happen when we're going into WrestleMania. Roman Reigns has a spear. Brock Lesnar has the F5. Neither one of them will be... if they hit that, it's going to be a finisher. We will not see a kick out from either one of those till WrestleMania. Count on it. But Elias loses this match in a good showing. He did have Roman Reigns on the ropes a lot. But then after and he did an elbow drop off the top rope towards the end of this match. And as soon as he hit that, he got a 2 count. Michael Cole decided to say, well, that's not a cruiserweight. Burying the cruiserweights even more. Just put another shovel on that hole that is the cruiserweights. The match lasted 14 minutes and 40 seconds. I timed that match because I wanted to make sure to know, is Roman Reigns going to just squash Elias? No, he did not. Post-match. This was interesting. Post-match. You see Roman Reigns disrespectfully having the title over his shoulder as if it's a bag of garbage or laundry. He pulls the title off his shoulders, holding it. You knew something was going to happen because if not, he was just going to hold the title and walk off. All of a sudden, behind him comes Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe grabs him, gets him in the coquina clutch, and pretty much just suffocates him till he passes out. He eventually gets pulled off of him, pulled away. He comes back he gets away from the people pulling him away. He chokes Roman Reigns a little bit more and says, I'm coming for you. So I look to see Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe next week for the Intercontinental title. So they're feeding Roman Reigns everybody that Brock Lesnar had. Next up is Asuka versus Dana Brooke. And I have to give it to, Asuka comes out, Dana Brooke comes out, Dana Brooke with these cringe-worthy backstage videos of Asuka, I watched your match last week over and over and over, and I found a hole in your game. You're a slow starter. I'm going to be on you from start of the bell, and you're not going to have a chance to get started. Match starts. She comes at Asuka. Asuka flips her over, and she taps out in what was 10 seconds. Asuka wins with an armbar, not the Asuka lock. JD from NY206 puts on Twitter, and it was the perfect thing. I didn't know how to clarify this match and what anything. Best Dana Brooke match I have ever seen, 5-star classic. That was a beautiful tweet, and I thought it was awesome. I lied earlier when I said that Paige and them did not come back out because Paige and the Absolution come out, surround the back and the 2 sides of the ring, look like they're about ready to attack Asuka. Then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they back off. Asuka backs out of the ring with that evil smile on her face that you do not, if you were in a match with her, you do not want to see because you know something's going to happen to you eventually. Other than that, it's what was the point? Oh, we're setting up for Asuka versus versus Paige. Unless you're going to have Asuka take a title off of Paige, then what is the point of this? Honestly. These three should be focusing on Alexa Bliss to have Paige be able to take the title off of Alexa Bliss to take it into WrestleMania to have Asuka beat her for the title. Then we had the worst portion of the night, in my opinion. Kane and Jason Jordan in a match. Jason had the mic. Good grief, where is the good God, don't touch it, you're going to ruin your career thing from JR from a couple years ago that people did with Roman. He comes out talking about how his match last week, he wasn't trying to leave the match against Braun Strowman. He was actually, it could have been nothing further from the truth. And he actually he's like, I'm going to do what Kane couldn't do, what Braun Strowman couldn't do, and take out Kane. Can I just say something? Kane's entrance is not the same. I don't care what they're trying to do. Kane's entrance does not feel the same without pyro. If you don't see the actual pyro go up and have him do his hands thing, and the pyro goes off on the 4 ring posts, which they probably can't now because of the LED boards, it's not the same for Kane's entrance. It's just like a shell of what it used to be. Which Kane is a shell of his former self, so I guess they match. This match, in the beginning, Jason Jordan did have a good little bit of offense until Kane knocked him out. Threw him out of the ring. Jason Jordan's clutching his knee. Jason Jordan gets counted out. Then he rolls back in the ring. Kane beats him down, throws it back out of the ring. Kane comes back out, beats him down a little bit more. I believe he threw him back in the ring, and then he starts to beat him down some more. Then Finn Balor's music hit. If all you Balor fans, like mega fans, were thinking Balor's going to get his redemption on Kane, you were sorely mistaken. This is what happens when Vince McMahon deems you not worthy and doesn't want you to be over. And this is what happens when Vince McMahon wants to have you not be over. This is what happened to Zack Ryder when Zack Ryder was over, and Zack Ryder was the biggest thing going on WWE television. And coincidentally, Kane again. They start off the match. We come back from commercial break, and it's Kane versus Finn Balor now. Kane and Finn Balor was starting to be was taking it to Kane. Kane gets Kane outside, hits him with the double drop kick to the outside. Goes to go after Kane again. Kane hits him with the chair, and then just starts beating him down with the chair over and over and over and over again, burying Balor as we go. Goes to put the chair around Finn Balor's neck, going up to the top rope to do the leg stomp thing that he did to Shawn Michaels a couple years ago. Braun Strowman's music hits. So basically, Balor is just going to get buried. Everybody who voted for Finn Balor in that poll, this is because of you. Everything that Balor did, all those tweets about Balor not being happy, this is because of that. Vince McMahon isn't happy that Balor is loved by the fans. He doesn't like the fact that Balor should be getting a lot more respect than he does. Balor is going to get squashed from here until Vince McMahon feels that the fans aren't in Balor's corner anymore. So if you guys want Finn Balor to get a Daniel Bryan-esque run, keep voting for him and everything. Make your voice heard at the events that you go to. Make Vince McMahon do what you have to. Get behind Balor as much as you can. Don't let Vince McMahon do this. Don't let Vince McMahon sit there and take away somebody who has worked their tail off to come back from injury after Vince McMahon gave him the Universal title at Survivor Series. They could have gave that to Seth. They could have gave that to Roman Reigns. But no, they gave it to Finn Balor last year at SummerSlam. Not Survivor Series, SummerSlam. And now he's not worthy. Now he's not worthy in Vince McMahon's eyes. Just because of one shoulder injury that wasn't even his fault, Vince McMahon just finds him not worthy at all. So make sure to go to every event that you go. Scream his name. Say, we want Balor. Give Balor a chance. Do whatever you have to. Start a hashtag if you have to. flood WWE.com with, or wherever, like emails with things about Finn Balor. If you want Finn Balor to be over, you're going to have to do it because Vince McMahon doesn't want him to be over. So Braun Strowman comes out, beats down Kane, beats him down, gets the stairs, hits him with the stairs, throws the stairs in the ring, throws Kane in the ring, gets the chair, beats Kane down again and again and again with the chair, eventually takes the chair and does the same exact thing. Oh, before he does that, that's right. Hits him on the steel steps with a very, very slow. It's like he didn't even do it like a very powerful power slam. He just like picked him up and slowly laid him on the steel steps. That was like one of the weakest power slams I think I've ever seen. Yes, Kane's 50 years old, so you're not going to be able to do that on the stairs to a 50-year-old guy without breaking his back, probably. Hopefully this is writing Kane off, but I doubt it. But he hits him with the chair in the throat once. Does it again. Kane, not being able to breathe, in quotes, leaves the ring. Gets over to the barricade, lays on the barricade for a second, falls off, then crawls out of the arena as Braun Strowman's in the ring, looking at the turnbuckle, gets his music plays, does his pose, and that was the end of Raw. Man, it sucks to be Raw because they have nothing, as I said earlier, going on for the next month and a half. Raw will not really start picking up the Royal Rumble, up for the Royal Rumble till at least the end of December, or I'm thinking halfway through December, or not even until January. So what does Raw have to do? Well, we have the Cruiserweight thing going on, which a lot of people really don't care about. Hopefully we'll see, we'll probably see somebody from the Zoe Train win next week, and we'll have a Zoe Train member versus Rich Swann in that. What I hope for to happen is that we'll see like Cedric Alexander or Mustafa Ali. There's him too. Cedric Alexander or Mustafa Ali. Yeah, those two right there, I could see one of those two. If they made it in to this final 2-on-2, which it should be in my opinion, if they were given 10, 15, 20 minutes of time and allowed to do whatever they wanted, they could put on a stellar match for Monday Night Raw. But Kane and Braun Strowman, I don't care about. I never have. What can Kane do for Braun Strowman that the Big Show did not do? He didn't lose all his momentum losing to Brock Lesnar. Yes, he lost a little bit, but he didn't lose it all. Why are they treating Braun Strowman as like, we gotta build this guy back up? Kevin Dunn, get Braun Strowman against Kane. Kane and Braun Strowman will do it for us. Vince, are you sure? I don't know. Okay, I'll do what you want, Vince. You know I love you. That's a good boy, Dunn. I'm glad I keep you around. Man, when Vince McMahon either retires or, goes 6 feet under, which eventually all of us do, Kevin Dunn's days in the WWE are numbered, but until then we have to deal with him. He's in Vince's ears. You want to know why? Why Finn Balor and Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and all those other guys are buried? Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn is in Vince McMahon's ear and telling Vince, "Oh, Vince, these guys aren't your creations. You have to break them down and build them back up." I'm surprised Asuka is still undefeated at this time with how much they buried everybody else. I figured Dana Brooke would have been the lucky one to win it. But what they're going to do for Monday Night Raw, I don't know. We are on a long ride till WrestleMania, till the Royal Rumble. You think WrestleMania is a long way away. Monday Night Raw is going to make it feel like the Royal Rumble is 6 months away with how much they have downtime and how much dead time they have between now and the Royal Rumble. Yes, SmackDown has Clash of Champions, but that's a placeholder pay-per-view. They're not really going to probably do much. Hopefully Jinder doesn't win the title there, but we'll see what happens. Tomorrow we have a 2-on-1 handicap match, the Sings versus AJ. AJ is going to win that, of course, unless something else happens. But we'll see what happens tomorrow with all that. Tonight was a below average show. The only big talking points is Absolution is an awful name. Very, very awful name. Finn Balor is going to get buried for the next 6 months, the next 3 or 4 months, or whenever Vince McMahon feels like the fans are behind him. So if you want Finn Balor to get the justification that he deserves, do not let Vince McMahon do to him what he did to Zack Ryder. And Matt Hardy is going broken, and there is no denying it now. After tonight, there is no denying that Matt Hardy is going broken. He would not do that much delete in the middle of the ring while the cameras are rolling if he wasn't going broken. Is he completely broken? No. Not yet. I have a feeling we're going to see him be normal Matt Hardy still next week. The guys at Cultaholic put a nice little thing out saying Matt Hardy's back to being broken. I don't think so. It's coming, though. It is coming. So buckle up for that. That's going to be interesting. Bray Wyatt is going to be the catalyst. I see we're going to have probably a rematch next week between these two. Bray Wyatt will probably do something else to Matt Hardy, and Matt Hardy will become broken more. But he's not. He's more broken now than he was last week. He's more broken than he was 6 months ago. So look forward to that next week. Next week we have the Shield, Dean and Seth winning the tag team titles back. I can see that coming a mile away. Roman Reigns will probably take on Samoa Joe, which will give us 2 title matches, and we have a fatal 4-way for the cruiserweight. That's for the right to see who can go to face Enzo, probably at the Rumble for the Cruiserweight Championship. That's next week, but tomorrow we have SmackDown, and then on Wednesday we have NXT. Make sure to see. I will see you guys then. Thank you for watching this. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And let me know in the comment section below what you thought of Monday Night Raw, and what's your thoughts of Matt Hardy possibly most likely going broken. Finn Balor getting buried every single which way that he could. Jason Jordan with his knee again, which was, who cares? And Absolution. What's your thoughts of the name and everything else? But I will see you guys next time. My name is Frontz. I will see you back here tomorrow for SmackDown Live. And until then, you guys have a wonderful day and take it easy.